from the far corner of Triangle Alley, below the whooshing sound of a sparkling TR-3B, at the edge of a dark forest where lumbering beasts dwell. It's Beyond the Beyond with Tanner Rush.
Beyond the Beyond, Admiral Byrd and the world beyond the ice wall. Are you ready to go deep down the icy, honeycombed, and possibly extra-dimensional reptilian entity-infested rabbit hole? If you're not true believer, I suggest you turn back now. What you'll find in the coming paragraphs may make your eyes bulge, your hair turn gray, and the EMF-blocking hat you bought on Amazon blow back off the top of your skull. You have been warned. Is there something going on in Antarctica? As you know, the frigid continent is the most uninhabitable and coldest land on the face of the earth. Nothing lives there. Nothing grows there. It's an inhospitable, desolate place. I'm not going to go into the recent satellite images that have revealed some pyramid-like structures emerging from the melting ice in Antarctica. I won't touch on the fact that the world's elites have been making trips to Antarctica recently, and no one knows the reason. Let's not talk about Buzz Aldrin's recent trip to the South Pole and what he tweeted while he was up there. The exact words were, "We're all in danger. It is evil itself." The tweet has since been removed, but you can find screenshots of it online if you look hard enough. We won't talk about Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory, presented as a passive listening device located at the South Pole, which some believe is a directed energy weapon that has, of course, the capacity to not only listen, but to transmit. And lastly, I do not want to go into the retired Navy SEAL whistleblower identified as Spartan 1, who ufologist Linda Moulton Howe interviewed, the one who said he and his team encountered an octagon-shaped structure in the South Pole, with large metal doors 30 feet thick that you could push open with one finger, where the inside was lime green and lined with strange hieroglyphs. I'm just not in the mood to talk about it, all right? I want to talk about the Antarctica Treaty of 1959, which was an agreement signed by 12 different nations and made the entire continent demilitarized for scientific research. That means no military bases, no nuclear testing, etc., etc. In 1946, Admiral Richard E. Byrd, Jr., an American naval officer and explorer, led an expedition to Antarctica called Operation High Jump after World War II to conduct scientific studies and establish a research base in the region. However, many have questioned the motives for such a mission and have speculated that the real reason he was there was to find a hidden Nazi base that had long been rumored to have been established in the area. Some believe that Byrd, while there, encountered something he couldn't explain, which forced him to abandon his mission entirely. The story goes that a journal was found belonging to him, and inside those pages he described encountering a fleet of flying saucers while in Antarctica, which not only were able to surpass his fleet's speed and outmaneuver him, but supposedly also killed many of his men. One quote from this alleged diary reads like this: "There comes a time when the rationality of men must fade into insignificance and one must accept the inevitability of the truth. I am not at liberty to disclose the following documentation of this writing. Perhaps it shall never see the light of public scrutiny, but I must do my duty and record here for all to read one day." What happened in the icy regions of the Arctic during Operation High Jump? Was it merely a research mission? Or was there something more to it? Some flat earthers believe there is an ice wall around the edge of the world. They typically view the Earth as a flat, circular disk with a massive wall around its circumference. In the flat Earth theory, Antarctica is not typically viewed as a massive continent, but rather a barrier that separates Earth from whatever lies outside. The treaty I discussed earlier is seen as a conspiracy to prevent people from traveling beyond the barrier. There's no need to say that this model contrasts well-established scientific theories, but there are a growing number of people who believe this, and the concept is far from new. Now, flat or globe Earth aside, what if there was an undiscovered land beyond the thousands of miles of ice that make up the South Pole? Wouldn't that be a perfect place to hide for an undiscovered species or even humans with advanced capabilities? Or what if, during those expeditions from almost a century ago, what if we unearthed something? Some evidence of an advanced civilization from our distant past. I mean, we probably shouldn't go into the shining white pyramids that have been discovered in China. The ones that the Chinese government have purposely covered with trees and foliage, with armed guards at their entrances. There were rumors of bodies found inside with red hair and blue eyes. Let's not talk about the mummies found in the Grand Canyon, about the caves found by G.E. Kincaid located 2,000 feet above the Colorado River with huge cities inside of them and Egyptian hieroglyphs written on the walls. Forget about the giant humanoid mummies found buried on Catalina Island, the ones the Smithsonian took and were never seen again. I'm reminded of a quote I read in a Stephen King novel once. There are other worlds than these. Perhaps it should read, there were other worlds than these. Have you had a sighting? Message me at Beyond the Beyond One on Instagram.